Khuroshvili. I'm from Georgia, from Tbilisi. I live there and I was born there. I'm doing mostly graphic design and experimental books and publications. But as well, I'm interested very much in sound and in video art, but I'm quite new in this field so far. But I'm trying to develop my skills. What about why I'm here is that I'm with the K.A.I.R residency here, and when I came here, my first project, the proposal what I wrote was about to make a video art which will be shot in banks, some of the banks, like as an institution. And this project was really social because it was connected to the social group of people like staff and the service who are working in the banks. And to find out something interesting, things was going on around them all day long, but it's so routine and it's so mundane for them that they could not find interesting stuff. You know, that when you're going every day in like same job and do the same stuff, you are not really happy. So I thought, why I can't make something, this kind of social project for them, and make this video screening in these bank networks only for them and only for staff. But the problem was that when I came here and we made a proposal for to allow us to make a video, because it's not allowed usually, we could not get a permission. So we started thinking, what kind of another thing can I do here? And then we found out that I can make a workshop connected to experimental publishing because I have this experience. I made one workshop in Tbilisi which was connected to experimental publication. But the difference between these two projects, what I made here and what I made in Tbilisi, was that in that project each of the participants made their own project and own book. But in this case, in Slovakia, in Košice, I had 13 participants, and we were working during 20 days, I think, but not very usually, just much more frequently, I think. And each of them made their own projects, but everyone put this one project in the publication. So now we have one publication with 13 projects. Most of them are artists and most of them are graphic designers and graphics, and I think one of them is from medical school, and maybe the rest of them are some kind of a different kind of fields, from the different kind of fields of art. Main topic is Košice, but it was some kind of little frame that you can overstep. So the good thing is what I started before and I can go on now, that this book is like self-experiences connected to the Košice, what you can't find out anywhere on internet, on bookstores or somewhere. This is the way why it's called experimental publishing, but it's very self and self-edition. So like, for example, there are some projects which is connecting, like Verka's project, which is connection between Prešov and Košice, but only her self-attitude toward these two places, which is expressed on the photo collages, for example. And for example, Katarina's project is connected to some kind of hidden places in Košice and some kind of atmosphere of Košice, because this is the book which takes onto the surface some interesting things, because you see too many guiding books about any city, but usually it's not interesting anymore. But this is something which is really special and which is really limited edited edition, and this is which makes it much more important and interesting. It's really touchable for me because we developed this idea together and we were talking about it and brainstorming and blah blah blah. So, but there are some projects, for example, which I like visually, which I like conceptually, and so on. But for example, most of the things what I really appreciated during this time is Ali's project, because he's a really crazy guy, and I really like the way he thinks first. And he made this sketchbook about Stockholm, but he already done it before, so we just scanned and made a layout of it. But at the last day, like yesterday, he made one spread in the book. It's the last spread, and this is about how he imagined us, like participants, as a danger of dragons, or how it's called. I don't know. It's something, but it's really funny, and I think he really imagines things like this, because first he in this Stockholm diaries or sketchbook, it's written that when he meets people, he sees these characters and not the people like we are or something. So yeah, it's too many things what I found out, and I'm really happy about it.
The main thing are people. If things doesn't works with the group, with the people, then anything is working. And this what we have here, our publication, it's only the final step, but the way along was the most important thing. I think it brings us really good together. Many of people who are participants also making our school magazine future. So it was like detached working place of our faculty, and it was really intense some days, but I think it was worth it, really.
Today we printed our book, and not tomorrow, but on Monday it will be binded, or today at night, I'm not sure. And so we'll have an exhibition next week on Wednesday, I think. And the main thing is like overstepped, and I'm really happy because the main part is finished, but the another like top part is in future or something, in near future. Yeah, this is the reason why we are here. We printed our books.
Knihy, ktorá vznikla počas 20-dňového workshopu s názvom Experimental Publication Košice, ktorý bol vedený našou rezidenčnou umelkyňou z Gruzínska Nini Khuroshvili.
Yeah, this is Odyssey, and one of the things what we wanted to show to the people is that how can you manage your project during 20 days to be published like this, and how we can show you the working space like this. And I think it's really fitted to Kotonia, and I'm happy you will enjoy it, and thank you. And if some of you wants to say something, I'll be happy about it.